So, like last time, I didn't even start. He didn't even start with the character creation. I didn't even start with the high energy. I had the Worldwide Wrestling shirt on, but this week I've got the Wyatt family shirt on. Follow the buzzards. There we go. Wyatt family rocking it hard. And as a special treat tonight, you get to see some of these WCW cards provided to me by Tyler and Patrick. I just opened a pack for tonight. El Gigante, Flying Brian, the Steiner brothers have got our tag team. Ricky Morton, Sid Vicious, Doom. Oh, Doom. Tommy Rich.
Somebody say something about fired up.
The Fabulous Freebirds. Some might say we're the greatest tag team. Lex Luger. There's a handsome devil right there. Jim Ross. Here's his card. And this is Jim Ross sans hat. But my favorite here, the last card in here is, of course, Sting. Early blonde beachcomber Sting. So there we go.
They used Jim Ross's LinkedIn photo, it looks like.
Yeah, it's not a great shot. So we are in session 2 of Worldwide Wrestling for Gauntlet League Wrestling. Tonight, we are going to check in with our characters, make sure everybody's happy with where they're at. And then I'm going to read out the card, and we'll do some backstage stuff with some focus on a few of the characters there. So let me start. Leandro, I'm going to work my way down on my screen here. Are you anything you want to change about your character? Are you good with the choices there?
Yeah, I'm still good with my character. My beef with this game, this game is that I never roll well, so that's separate from my character. That's more my fight with every roll for a party room that dares to invite me in and then kick me in the nards. But my character's fine.
Fair enough. Today I played a game that operators that uses fate dice, and it kicked me in the teeth several times today. Fate dice have never been kind to me, but there we go. Tyler, let's talk about your character. You had sent me a note and talked about some changes you wanted to make. So what have you done?
I have changed from the fighter playbook to the ace playbook. Consequently, I have a different stat array, which has beefed up my look, which is a lot of what I was going with, which I was not good at and did not seem to make sense. My work is horrible now, but my reel is pretty good.
Okay.
And it meant I have some different moves. My finishing move is, like most finishing moves, still pretty similar. But now I have carried the company. You're a designated face of the promotion. When a title match is announced, roll reel. I get a pick of, depending on how I roll, to book myself into or out of the match. Title must remain on line. Book the finish of the match. Book a rematch after the match. Or add a stipulation to the match. And if I botch, management doubts my judgment and bad things happen. And I have amazing entrance. Lots of money is spent on this one, at least in comparison. I'll roll audience when you make your first full entrance to an episode. And on a 10+, I gain heat with my opponent. And a 7 to 9, I gain momentum equal to my start momentum. But if I botch, I lose an audience.
Ooh, that's a risky one.
Mm-hmm.
And you said you were going to change your name a little bit?
Yes. To avoid a little confusion, we were seeing last time that with a real Jim and a fake Jim, there were a lot of, hey, who? And so Mr. Fabulous will now be Jim Queen, and backstage and on the air or whatever Fab people can call him.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate you doing that.
No problem at all.
Maximilian Malin. Are you anything you want to change there? Are you good with where you're at?
pretty much all the basic character stuff is done. I modified the finisher a little bit. It's now more of an axe kick than a famouser because that seemed to fit a little bit better. And he still does the ridiculous split, gimmick part of it, but it results in an axe kick instead of just a famouser drop.
Okay, that seems reasonable. Matt, are you happy with where Dave Dallas is?
The only thing I changed is my music, which is now but Glenn Goza, Rasslin. That's wrestling. It's the dumbest, most low-budget thing you've ever heard. But that's actually, he performed it at one of the world-class championship wrestling stadium shows. In the video, you kind of got to see him to get the whole impression. But yeah, so good. So in keeping with what I'm doing here. And just one thing I wanted to check with the group, because I'm playing like a character that's a terrible person, and I'm going to be responsible with that, and it's going to be modulated by what I'm comfortable saying on a live stream, which, that maybe doesn't give you much comfort because you know me.
Fair enough.
But what I do want to check with everybody is, as I was thinking about the character, it maybe veers a little political, and I want to give everybody the opportunity to veto that, and to kind of welcome X cards. If anybody doesn't like where it's going at all, use an X card. Doesn't hurt my feelings.
Matt can play a heel, and he will play an awful heel. But don't feel bad to X card him. I will second that.
Can we just put a line on any racism, please?
Oh yeah. No, that's that's covered by modulated, but what I'm comfortable saying
cool.
on the live stream. We're actually not on the live stream.
I've not played with you before, so I just want to make sure that that's like on the table and we've got that explicit.
No, I'm kind of conscious of like fun playing a bad guy versus like, oh no, face palm playing a bad guy.
Awesome. Jim, with Valentina, anything? Are you happy with the picks that you made there?
So I like the character, and I like I like being the iconoclast. I like the idea that I'm gonna kind of go after anyone that goes after the title. When I first made the character, I thought that the whole thing was going to be a little more high concept, and it sounds like with this new season, you kind of turned a corner. It's more low budget. It's more just like we're a bunch of wrestlers and stuff like this. And so my whole science fiction-y I'm from the future thing seems like it is like I'm the only person that has like a gimmick like that. Like we don't have a monster. We don't have anybody like that. So I'm wondering if that's going to be just too weird and I should maybe just kind of make her just more of like a regular wrestler, or what?
Let me give you a thought that occurs to me.
Sure.
I actually think that's the struggle to play out. That literally Andrea came in high concept thinking that would be, and I think that's a great thing to play out, is her having to make those decisions on screen.
Okay.
Does that sound interesting to you?
It's super interesting, and I'm comfortable doing it. And we started to go in that direction last time, which I really liked, and I would love to see the thing play out where people are saying to me, "That's not real wrestling," and me saying, something like, "Look, people are here for a story. They want wrestling, but they want a story to go with it. And that's what I'm going to give them." And to have that go back and forth, I'm totally cool with that. I just want to make sure that it's not going to, that it's just not going to be weird for everybody, and that we can make it work. But if we can make that part of like the whole kind of kayfabe, question, I'm more than happy to do that.
I think that plays well into the varied history of the promotion. I think that's a good way to approach it. Let's do it that way, and then if later on you're like, I'm not certain about it, we can make those changes.
Cool, awesome, thanks.
And last but not least, the magnificent Gardeau.
Yeah, I don't have any changes to my character, but Jim, I was actually kind of on that same line with my character of, I was kind of hoping to lean heavily into the kind of hokey magician act. And we did kind of play into that a little bit. So I would like to see that keep going. You know, that struggle of, are we entertainers or are we wrestlers?
Awesome. So let me tell you the show, and then we'll do some backstage segments. So we have some NPW matches potentially between these episodes, but for you, we're going to open with Gardeau versus Dallas to get that on the table. Dallas, you're going to win via DQ. I'll let you two work that out. Then Jim Queen, Fab, you versus Helena Black. And Jim, you're booked to win that one. And then Malin versus Valentina. Malin, you're booked to win that one. And then the last thing of the show tonight is Dallas is going to battle against our gatekeeper, Dreamboat Alex, who's a non-pro wrestler, with Dallas getting knocked down. Essentially, Alex wins for that to push him back down the contention. So now you know what the setup is, generally. You can mess with that now. So that's all out there on the table to play with. Any questions about that? Okay. So we are a week later. We still have a broadcast deal for our promotion. So we're still doing shows that are being recorded and broadcast. But this week we're from the Runcible Athletic and Convocation Center, the RAC, the RACC. This is a multi-purpose athletic and convention center in Gauntlet City. And they have like a hockey rink they set up from time to time. They've got basketball games there. High school championships get played there, that kind of thing. And it's summer, so they got some room. So you guys are doing a show there in the very off hours. And tell me, Tyler, what do you think constitutes the very off hours? When would they record this show?
I think like in the morning, somewhere like 9 in the morning.
Okay, so super early. Is it a weekend or is it a weekday?
I don't think they're going to be so awful they do us a weekday, but I think it's like Sunday. So
okay.
Our fans are having to make that choice of church or coming to see us.
Yeah. So they've got this taping. They've got this set up. They lots of free tickets handed out because most of the money is coming from merch and the broadcast agreement. It's on Sunday. There's probably a lot of noise because there's like a car show over in the other part of the convention center. And so that convention's going on. And you do have access to like very basic athletic rooms. What am I saying? The name for the changing rooms in athletic place. I just
locker rooms.
Thank
locker
you.
Rooms.
That was pure aphasia right there. So Leandro, as you know, everybody has to get in. They probably got a 6:00 call to come in, get here, get set up, run through some things. How are you feeling after that last show?
Still a bit annoyed. Like, I know Andrea said, look, it could could, it could be the spark of some big feud we could have. But it's still annoying having gone into a ring thinking you're the hands of pro, and suddenly, oops, they bust you open. It casts a pall over a professional relationship like that. Also, it's 6 a.m.
Yeah.
and all I have is a potato waffle thing from McDonald's, and I'm really annoyed.
Okay. Do you hang out with anybody backstage? Do you have any friends back there, or is it still pretty isolated? What is that like?
Who? I don't know. Who wants to be my? No. I think
There's also the roster summary if you want to look at other names for MPWs too.
I think her character stems a lot from herself, so she is very much like a keep to herself, make some notes on a notebook, eat this inadequate potato waffle thing, and just like when you have to be on, she has lots of like ideas and whatnot, but people have to seek her out. She doesn't seek people out usually.
Okay. So yeah, we see you come in. There are probably some maybe some early morning of the crew and stuff. They give you the wave as you go in. Also, from this point forward, I'm going to assume things are on screen unless we say they're off screen. Okay. So we'll assume this is off screen here. And Wolf Backhouse catches you as you're coming in. And he says, Liz.
Hey.
Putting up against Jim today. He's hot. We need to keep pushing him up. So I really need you to work hard. Maybe a little harder than last week.
Well, that's not exactly my fault, is it, Wolf? And she like very pointedly scratches at her elbow, at her eyebrow, like I just did here, unconsciously.
Backhouse says, so you let Valentina work you over? Didn't you guys hadn't work that out?
No. Why would? For one thing, I mean, look at the match that happened there, Wolf. Why would we end the match 5 minutes in on a stoppage when my partner wasn't even able to tag in and didn't get to do shit?
I don't know. I've had wrestlers pull that on me like that. I mean, it was 92 degrees out with the mosquitoes in full force. That's what I figured you guys were just laying down a little bit there.
Well, look, I don't think it was deliberate. All right, it's I'm just new here, and I don't think she meant what she's meant to do. It's just things happen, and it's just we'll have a good match tonight.
Wolf leans in and says, I've been in this business a long time. I don't know if this is the situation, but I have learned that when someone bullies you, if you don't bully them back at some point, it just keeps going. That may not be what's going on here. I'm just saying. And he walks away.
I'm gonna take a dramatic bite out of my potato waffle.
Okay. Maximilian, what is the extent of the amenities that are provided by this venue? Like when you come in for this recording in the morning, is there a craft table? Is there any kind of thing that's set up? What do you imagine?
I think they try, but it's not that big of an institution here to start with. So really, what they've got is one of the folks who is on the management committee went out and basically bought like a whole bunch of those, just like a couple of bags of breakfast sandwich type things from various places. And I'm thinking maybe that's where Helena grabbed her potato waffle thing. Like they just brought in like a couple of bags of that and set it out on the craft table. So you've got like the little biscuit, the little chicken biscuits and sausage biscuits and all that sort of stuff, and all of the like waffles and pancakes and things like that, just sort of sitting out there that you can just run through. It looks like a really cheap continental breakfast at Holiday Inn kind of thing.
Okay. So what's your attitude coming in here this early after that show last time? How are you feeling?
Well, we're inside, so that's good. That's good. There's air conditioning and fewer mosquitoes. So I'm positive with that. I'm not so positive about this early morning stuff. So when when Billy Ray is coming in, he has a really ridiculously large coffee cup, like one of those giant refillable things from 7-Eleven, and he is drinking liberally from it.
What's your relation with other wrestlers? Do you have any wrestlers that are your friends? Do you have any wrestlers that dislike you?
Well, he's been working with Helena as sort of a impromptu ad hoc tag team sort of thing. Basically with Helena kind of acting as the person who's actually competent to beat people up, while I like sneak in and do the roll up pin, that sort of thing. And I think Billy is basically friendly with everybody. Like he's sort of a go along and get along sort of fellow, because he's not that big a guy. He's not that physical. There is no way that if some of these bigger guys really decided to go all out on him in the ring, like he could hold his own. So he tries to maintain a pretty easy working relationship with everybody. Like if things got serious, he's got a real +1. He's got some old martial arts training, but it's nothing compared to most of these guys.
Dreamboat Alec is the gatekeep to Stan the Percolator Steiger. He's the champ. Dreamboat Alex is there. And you've had some bad encounters with him. And he comes wandering over, and he's got clearly brought his own breakfast. Like you suspect he might get a per diem for food. And he's like looking sharp, Frenchie.
And I nod because I'm got a mouthful of hot coffee.
He says, this whole thing you got going on, you're no hair Euro.
Exactly. That he was playing a German.
No, that's
it's completely
anyway.
It's a completely different thing. Like I'm playing like the sort of creepily decadent French person, like that sort of like gives you the sort of feeling, whereas he was playing like the superior, like I'm smarter than you and better at math sort of European. Entirely different thing. Like it's a heel. Both of us are heels, but he's like the smarty pants heel, and I'm the that guy just makes me feel weird sort of heel. See,
he pauses because you've given him this dissertation on the gimmick, and he's like, "Whatever, Frenchie," and walks away.
I'm from Arkansas. I just play the French guy.
Gardeau. You will get a message to go and see the general manager, Wolf Backhouse. And he wants to have a conversation with you.
Okay, so yeah, I would head there, and I think Gardeau he's kind of a morning person. I think he wakes up early to practice his magic tricks in the morning. So he's already up and ready to go. He's already had his coffee.
And there's a rough edge to Backhouse, like he was up late, definitely exhausted. And he has you sit down, and he says, Gardeau. Gardeau, where do you see yourself this season?
Well, I see myself living comfortably, making some good money. You know, maybe champion, maybe not, but
Okay.
Good money.
So is this magic thing, that's set in stone for you right now?
Well, yeah. I mean, if you could do magic, wouldn't it be set in stone for you?
I'm not sure about that. So, the guy from Zip Fizz, who is our energy drink sponsor, his son's having a birthday party this week. So you go work that, and we'll put a little extra in your paycheck for next week.
Oh, that sounds like a good idea. I mean, I love doing birthday parties. I'm good at birthday parties.
Oh, cool. Good. Yeah. Apparently his son watched it and enjoyed some of your stuff. So you do this and do it well. Play it cool, and maybe we will get you up that championship ladder.
Yeah, of course, sir. Yeah, I have some good ideas for some like Fortnite magic that I could try at the birthday party. So we'll see if that goes over good.
Fortnite.
Oh yeah. It's what all the kids are into.
Oh, like that Minecraft thing.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
Minecraft magic is very much last season. This season, we're all about the Fortnite magic.
Okay. All right. And he looks down, and his hand goes up to dismiss you.
I bow and walk away.
Okay. Mr. Fabulous, I'd like to have you call a backstage scene.
I think I'm going to go and find Heartbreak.
Okay. Helena, where does Fabulous find you?
Is this on screen or off screen?
Off screen.
Okay. Yeah, I think she is probably near. I think she's just she set up a corner. I think that's Liz's corner, and it's like for some reason it's a corner of two walls, and there's like three folding chairs surrounding her, and one of them has her bag on. The other one has like a notebook or two, and she's writing out stuff, and she's got her headphones on, and is like angry writing.
Then I'll come over and kind of wave to get your attention. And Heartbreak, honey. I hear me and you going tonight.
Yeah, that's a story for tonight.
I know last week it was a shit show for you. I am so sorry. Believe me, I've run up against Valentina myself, and it's not fun.
Henry, you don't have to apologize for another person. It's fine.
Well,
and don't worry, me and Andrew, we made it up. We kind of made it up last week. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Well, I want to make sure that this week we get a first-rate match. I want to see what you're thinking, and I want to see maybe we could come together on kind of how this is going to play.
Sure. Sure. And I think she kind of like awkwardly like puts the headphones on. I think she only had it one out when she was talking to you, and she puts it down, and then like, so you know the finish, right? You're going over and all that.
I think that's probably going to be, yeah. But I'd love for you to beat the hell out of me. I'd like a nice comeback surprise. I'm willing to take the bumps, play it dirty. I've already been cheated out of one last week. I would love to see the cheat owned still again. That way I can bitch and moan about it.
So I can say it again. My internet broke up.
I was cheated out of win last week, so I want to be able to bitch and moan some more about being cheated on. Bring all your dirty tricks at me.
I think Liz is kind of like, oh yeah, no, Henry's just a lovely chap, isn't he? He's just the best. And I think, the thing is like, how are you so lovely, Henry?
Well, in the end, we're here to make each other look good.
Gosh, honestly, I expected a lot more backstabbing around these parts, but no, yeah, that sounds great. Definitely, I did want to like, because apparently Andrew wants to go into a feud, and I don't want to like look weak. I know you're the big man around here, and we got to keep you strong and whatnot. But I do want to make it like a big effort. Like I'm trying all my best. You know.
Fantastic, and remember, anything I say, it's not personal.
Same.
Cool.
That's a good line to cut on. Valentina, let's have you call a backstage segment, talking to another wrestler, talking to MPW, get a spotlight on you. What do we want to see? So
my match today is with Max.
Yeah.
So I am gonna find Max, maybe like finishing up his, whatever, licking his fingers as he takes the last bite of his, breakfast sandwich there. And I've got something in a plastic cup that I'm just like slurping the last sip of. And it's like green. It's clearly some kind of like, like kale smoothie, like energy, like day starter thing like that. And I kind of like sip the last thing of that, and then I just and then I do one of these things where like the trash can's like 30 feet away, and I just sort of give it a casual toss, one bounce off the wall, and it goes into the trash can, because that's my volleyball skills there. And I say to him, we should rehearse. We got 2 hours before they start filming. No one's in the ring right now. We should practice. I want to get this right.
And he like wolfs down the last of his croissant, and okay, I'm good. Okay, so you're what I'm thinking is you're one of the heavy hitters. Basically, even though they've said that I'm supposed to go over with this thing, I want it to be obvious that I am cheating like crazy.
Can we walk and talk while we do this?
Sure.
Okay. And so that's me in character saying that, and like I've got my duffel bag over my shoulder, and we start walking out to the ring. And so this is one of those Aaron Sorkin, like as we're going out into the ring, the conversation is going on.
Yeah. And Max is saying, well, actually, this is Billy Ray at this point. Billy Ray is like, well, what I'm thinking is, you just basically sort of, for lack of a better word, you're manhandling me throughout most of the match. And I occasionally like sneak in something dirty, thumb to the eye, a trip on the ropes, something, a distraction, maybe shoving the referee at you, that sort of thing. And maybe in the end we do something. I was thinking either like a miss to the face or something like that at the end when the referee's distracted by something, and then I hit with Madame Guillotine, and that's really what takes you out, is like the dirty trick, and the guillotine is just insult to injury.
So can we? Yeah. I think that's. So do we want to? And so kind of we're getting out there, and we're out in the ring, and I kind of look at it, and I do the thing where I like hop up there, and I kind of like am just walking around like bonking on the turnbuckles and like testing the ropes, and like I do a couple of practice falls, bam, bam, just to see how it's all working out. And I'm like, okay. So
do you want to do the workout in your full kit, or you just want to practice in our workout?
No. I hate that. It's like wearing fucking football gear. Like I gotta practice without it, and then I'll know the moves, and then when I'm all like I can hardly hear when I'm wearing that, like that wig and stuff. So I wanted to practice.
Gotcha. Okay, and and Billy Ray's sort of like he's sort of pointing out, okay, like for the first few minutes, like we can sort of play a lot of that by ear, because basically you're just going to be manhandling me, and I'm going along with it. Like you toss me, you punch me, occasionally I roll out of the ring and like make a big show out of it, and claiming that you're hitting me with a closed fist, that sort of nonsense. You got that.
Okay.
And that's easy. That'll get the crowd riled up, because I'm going to come out like talking some serious, old school, foreigner nonsense to them. So they're going to love that, and they're going to love seeing you beat the living tar out of me.
I worked all night with my sister to memorize my lines. There's some whole thing about how France is messed up in the future, and that's why I'm here. And I got it. I got it down. It's going to be awesome.
Okay. Now, what I'm going to basically come out, and I'm going to sort of go into a whole lot of like, I'm going to go into a whole lot of like French nonsense. The vast majority of people in the audience don't speak French, but I'm going to at least throw in a couple of things. And the big follow-up, the big hitter is, I'm going to basically tell them that when Jean-Paul Sartre said "hell is other people," he was talking about all of them. So that's going to be my tagline.
Hell is other people,
and that he was talking about like everybody here. So.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna give the quote in the original French to make it sound just that much more insulting, and then I'm gonna translate it for them because I think they're too dumb to get it. So it's gonna be, and then maybe at the end of that you punch me in the face, like something like that, because I'm gonna try and give that last part of the line when I walk into the ring.
Okay. So hell is other people, and then I just come right at you. I don't wait for the bell or anything.
Oh yeah, because they're gonna love that. Like if you don't get the highest pop of the night off of that, I don't know who will. Okay,
I got this. I think we can do this.
Okay, and you guys get it kind of coordinated there, kind of worked out. We see you in the ring. Eventually, they're going to give you the signal to start moving out, because they're going to put the cameras in place, start looking. Dallas.
All right,
Dallas.
And sorry. Can I we've finished and I feel good and we're going out of the ring. I just want to snap a selfie of the two of us and send it out.
Okay. Ooh. Heel and face.
Billy Ray says, be careful who you send that to, because a lot of these old school fans in this town will get really riled up about that stuff. They don't like being in the know.
I shrug and I say, they're not buying the booster packs. And I hit send on it.
Point.
And if I can...
Dallas.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Go ahead and finish, Jim.
Is that breaking kayfabe? using social media to do it, as opposed to like a great big, like when I, and I'll put like ready for today's match.
Yeah, let's roll real.
Cool. Let me get over to. Ha! That's 3 + 2 is 5. Woo! Perfect.
So, we can get a shot of Wolf Backhouse, the tweet popping up, and his face going red. You're going to lose a heat with Dave Dallas.
Okay.
And I think your sister really believes in wrestling.
Yeah, okay.
And she sees that, and you see her kind of put her hand on her mouth, like she's shocked that you would even think of doing that.
And
She goes back to work on your costume some more, but she's sad.
That's awesome. We can cut away from that, and I'll deal with the fallout of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Dallas. Now Dallas.
All right, so Dallas comes storming into the locker room, and because I was going to play him, he's got Fireball Terry South with him. It's kind of sad, like Fireball like drives him around and stuff just to still be in the vicinity of the business and try to catch some opportunities. And it's not at all clear that for them, this is Sunday morning. This may still be Saturday night to them as they come in. In fact, Dallas is probably, it's probably questionable what's in that coffee cup he's holding. And that vape he's hitting might not be a jewel. So he's feeling pretty good for the early morning hours that they're here. And he comes in and he yells, Frenchie! That was good last week. That was good. And it was nice. It was easy. The mutants out there understood what we were doing. It was very simple for them. That was good. Now, I mean, you're never going over me, but I'll beat your ass anytime you want. That was good.
And Billy Ray sort of gives a thumbs up and nods. That's what we French people are here for.
Good. Now, where's the nerd? Where's the nerd I'm wrestling this morning?
I didn't catch.
Was that a little?
I'm sorry, I did see you cut out for me on that last.
Okay. So now he's screaming. He wants to talk to that nerd. He's got to wrestle.
Gardner, does Dallas find you?
Yeah, I think Gardo is probably somewhere sitting in a chair practicing some sort of, probably playing with a deck of cards, practicing some sort of magic trick.
And Dallas would kind of come in and, let's say you're flipping cards in your hands. He's a big bully. He's going to, slap your shoulder such that they, scatter. He says, so, I want to go over what we're doing tonight. I hope you realize you're not going over me, ever. Okay, let's be clear on that right now.
Well, I mean, yeah, they kind of went over the finish, the DQ thing. I mean, yeah, that way we come out both looking strong, right?
I want to make sure you understand, I'm not doing anything that makes me look stupid. So there's no fireballs, there's no invisible hand grenades, there's no doves to the face. You understand?
Well, I mean, yeah, you won't look stupid. I mean, it's a way we're entertaining the crowd, right? It's all about entertainment.
Yeah, and it's simple. It's so simple. Don't overcomplicate it, and don't do anything dumb. And we can both go in there, work nice and light.
Yeah, of course. I mean, just like you just showed me a cool trick of 52 card pickup. That's simple. So maybe when we get in the ring, just a simple trick or two. Nothing elaborate.
They're very simple-minded. The people out there are very simple-minded. You don't need much to amuse them, and I don't want to do much. They're not paying us much to be out here, so they're getting the bare minimum. Understand?
Well, I mean, they are skipping church to be here, so perhaps they could believe in sorcery?
It would explain why anybody wants to see you.
I mean, they're buying my stuff. They're buying my shirts. How's your shirt selling?
That's not the point here. I've been to the big federation. I know what it takes to get over. Selling T-shirts at some flea market isn't what I'm here to do.
All right, well, you know what? I'm just here to entertain the crowd. I'm not here to make any enemies. So let's just go out there, put on a good show, right?
All right. Nice and easy.
Dallas,
Simple DQ.
Dallas, let me ask you a question. Did that T-shirt comment get at all under your skin?
Oh yeah, it did, because Dallas is being here, he has been brought low. I think when we ended his last go round, it was because he got picked up by a WWE or equivalent. So the fact that he's back here because he does things like come into the locker room at 6 a.m. drunk, oh yeah, that really gets under his skin.
Might have to repeat all of that when Lowell comes back.
I talk way too much to have to repeat stuff often.
Well, he can rewatch his own video about that.
Oh. Looks like a return. We can see you.
Yeah. Yeah. We will not be using Jitsi next week. I don't know what we'll be using, but this is the last week we use Jitsi. And I apologize for the instability. So Dallas, I'm going to move from there. We get the crowd in there. The seats are filled on two sides, and that's the sides that they're going to shoot towards for the match today. And they got the camera set up, and they get a projector screen, so they have the equivalent of a jumbotron there. They've got the VTR people on it, and we do that opening, and we're going to see. I think we're going to open with the package, since it's kind of opening the show. Dallas, what is the previously on highlight package we're going to see for you?
So previously on, focuses on the fact that there was a good, clean wrestling match going on there. And then one of these indie goofs got in the way of it and interfered. And Dallas would cut a promo on him, and they dwell on that. And he was going to make good on this interference, and he did. And he, locked the sugar hold on him. And that's what's coming for everybody. Any of these clowns that try to interfere with good, pure, classic professional wrestling are going to suffer the same fate. It's kind of the idea that this is edited to portray.
So you think we're cutting this into cutting your promo on Gardeau? Do you call him out by name, or
no?
Are you working the audience?
So I guess the promo bit of it would be him. He's out there and he's actually praising Jim Queen. That this is a legitimate athlete, and we were giving the people what they want. We were giving the people a wrestling match, and then we have one of these goofs come out and try to interfere. And like I've promised, he paid for that interference. He paid for disrespecting the sport of my grandfather and my father, and dragging dragging its name through the mud with hijinks like that. That would not be allowed in any other sport. And if the federation is not going to enforce the rules, if these referees are not going to enforce the rules, the Yellow Rose, Dave Dallas, is going to enforce the rules. And I pledge to all you people right now, I will defeat every one of these clowns and goofs in this federation.
So, do you think was it cutting a promo or working the audience? What do you feel like that is?
I feel like that's cutting a promo because I'm not like, yeah, I think I'm cutting a promo because I'm really denigrating the other guys.
Okay, yeah. So let's have you cut a promo, roll with look.
All right. Do we have a link to the roller?
Oh, yeah. Let me grab that. Copy. Close the chat. Paste. There we go.
All right. So that is 7 + 2, 9.
So you got a choice. You can book you in a match, add a stipulation to the match, or gain a heat with the subject of your promo.
I will gain a heat with the subject of my promo, who I guess is obliquely Gardeau, even though I pointedly did not mention his name.
Gardeau, when we cut to you, what do we see for your last week on? How do we cut into your promo? Let's see that.
Yeah, so I think on the last week on, we see very few clips of Gardeau actually wrestling because his match kind of ended early. So you see a lot of clips of him doing magic tricks and walking up to people in the crowd and having them pull a card out of a deck of cards, and they pull it out and it's actually a foil Gardeau from our collectible card game. So he's passing those out to the audience, special promo cards, of course. And then when we get to you, you're backstage, or whatever. Is it an interview? Is it you just facing the camera? Where do we find you? I think it's like a backstage, one of those pre-match interview type things.
Okay, so Victoria Onyx is there. She's got the long mic, and she's like, interesting, Gardeau. Some people say that your athletic ability is not necessarily up to the match of someone like a pure athlete, like a Yellow Rose Dave Dallas. How do you respond to that? Well, how I would respond to that is quite simple, really. I'm a mental wrestler. You don't need physicality when you can just trick your opponent with the use of illusions and magic tricks. And let me be clear here, they're not just tricks. Magic is real. Oh, okay. And so you're going to use the power of mesmerism to bring Dave Dallas to his knees? To his knees? To the floor? I will use my powers to bring Dave Dallas down. He is going to lose this match. Excellent. Go ahead and roll with look. That is a 9. That is a 9. So make creative book you in a match, add a stipulation to the match, or gain a heat with Dave Dallas. I'll just go ahead and gain a heat with him because I think I'm purposely making it more complicated, which is specifically what he told me not to do. Right. That is the smart way to go. So don't forget your momentum resets to whatever is your starting momentum at the start of a match, unless you've gained any. So remember to clear and reset. Yellow Rose Dave Dallas, what is your entrance music? What do we see when you come down the platform, come down into the ring?
It's very basic. It's bad early 80s country disco music starts playing. and there's really not much fanfare. There's not like no lights, no fireworks, but he does have like the old school, like an elaborate robe, and he kind of just calmly, confidently, no drama, walks to the ring.
Climb on into the ring. Your music cuts out. Gardeau, what does your entrance look like?
So Gardeau's music is kind of like a jazzy number that you would sort of hear during a magic show, and he comes down to the ring and he's high-fiving, people next to the ring, going around handing out more of those cards, and probably also handing out some like sparklers too to people ringside.
Excellent. And who would like to be the announce table for this match? Chris, I see you raise your hand. Let's put you on the announce table. Remember, you can put each wrestler over once during the course of the match. Gardeau, you have a little more audience than Yellow Rose Dave Dallas does. So you're actually going to kind of start in control of this match. How does it start out?
I think it starts out, Gardeau probably wore like almost like an inordinate amount of clothes to the ring. Like he's got like a nice fancy jacket on and a fancy hat. And so he's like taking all this off very slowly, just trying to draw it out until Dave Dallas probably gets a little bit ticked off and just goes after him. And I think he does like a sidestep, like he was trying to anger Dave Dallas into doing this, and so he does a sidestep and then just immediately goes to throwing Dave Dallas into the corner and sort of just slamming his head into the turnbuckle.
So does that sound? I mean, is that the high point of that? Is that, you think it's more about the technique that you're showing, or more of your sort of skill and strength?
I think it's more the technique. Like he's playing up this idea of outsmarting his opponent and not necessarily getting into a real scrap.
Perfect. So let's have you roll with work.
Ooh, that is going to be a 1.
That is a 1. So Dave, he sidesteps you, goes to throw you into the corner. How do you counter that, and what happens next?
So I think what happens, the counter would just be like this. It's clumsy. He tries to throw me in, and I'm a lot bigger and stronger, and that just gets turned right around on him, and he gets whipped into the corner hard. Like not that one where you kind of fall in and slouch in, the one where you hit the turnbuckle and you bounce off and you fall face first. He takes it bad. And then I'm not even going right to him. I'm grabbing the referee and I'm shaking the referee and pointing at him, as I'm holding the referee's lapels and shaking him around. Because he started the match before the bell rang.
So are you working the crowd?
I think I'm going for like cheap heat. This is just classic heel that I'm putting my hands on the referee and bullying the referee now.
Perfect.
Pointing out to the official that this is indeed before the official bell for the match.
So you're going to gain that cheap heat. You gain an additional momentum there. I think then that's going to pass to Gardeau. Gardeau, he ignores you, goes and starts yelling at the ref, trying to call you out on a technicality this fast. What do you do?
I think Gardeau slowly, kind of gets up to his feet, and he starts just trying to goad Dave Dallas into attacking again. I think probably to the point that the bell hasn't rung yet, so maybe he even pulls out like a deck of cards and starts, trying to offer them over to Dave Dallas. Like, come on, pick a card, any card.
Referee, that is a foreign object.
The referee waves that off, clearly waves to you to get into the match, Dallas.
All right, let's go. Test the strength.
And I think when the ref turns his back to me to start talking to Dallas, I actually pull one of the cards off the top and put it in the ref's pocket. And then I will actually go ahead and do a test of strength.
Okay. So you get in there and you're going to lock up with him.
Yep.
What does that look like before we go to have you roll body?
I think Gardeau is being very slow and cautious about it, which probably only pisses Dave Dallas off. Where he kind of walks up and does the delaying, and then maybe even does a hand behind his back to try to do like a one-handed test of strength, and then finally, I think Dave Dallas pulls his arm over, and then they lock up.
Gardeau, you're in control, so let us have you roll with your body.
That's a 7.
That is a 7. You can hand control over to Dave Dallas and gain momentum, or keep control of the match.
I think I'll hand control over and gain a momentum.
Dallas, tell me what this looks like coming out of this test of strength.
The test of strength, it goes badly for Gardeau. Dallas is probably much taller, much heavier, and he's just bringing him down. And then he jerks him around and just gets him in a hammerlock. And he's working a hammerlock for like far longer than modern audiences are probably comfortable with, and as he's working, he keeps calling for the referee to test him to see if he submits, and he's just
referee
going.
Comes over, checks,
just going with this, and then finally, he breaks the hold, and immediately just comes around with a headlock.
Dave Dallas is going so old school, he is spelling school correctly.
So this sounds like maybe a physical demonstration here.
Yeah, I could say, this is probably either body or work, however you want to call it.
I think you're not demonstrating signature moves that require high wrestling skills. Unless you really think it's about you showing off technique.
No, I mean, there's not much technique to these old moves.
Okay, then roll with body.
All right. All right. So that is a 7.
That is 7. Keep control. Or hand control off and gain momentum.
I'm going to gain a momentum and hand control off.
Okay. Gardeau, how do you break out of that?
I think it's one of those things where slowly, do that little almost like barely stomp, and then stomping a little bit harder, and then a little bit harder, getting the crowd into it, and until the crowd is really, really cheering for Gardeau, and then he throws an elbow, throws another elbow, and then breaks out of the hold. Probably throws Dave Dallas into the ropes, and they do the whole back and forth where Gardeau is, he lays down on the ground, Dave Dallas runs over top of him. They do that whole back and forth where he's constantly trying to trip him up. And then I think finally, Dave Dallas starts running after him, and Gardeau kind of leans into the middle rope, sending Dave Dallas out of the ring.
Ooh. So that sounds like maybe work, demonstrating technique there, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, let's have you roll with work.
Ooh, that's a 5.
That is a 5. So describe how he goes to throw you out of the ring, Dallas. How do you counter that?
As he's coming up, he's flying at the ropes. He's about to go over the rope, but he catches it and flips back in, points to his head, shakes his finger and admonishes the referee again. Attempts to send a wrestler out of the ring are illegal. You never enforce that rule.
The ref keeps the match going, tries to keep the momentum.
And so now, having properly chastised the referee, Dallas is kind of strutting a little bit because he's showing like Gardeau's throwing everything he's got at him, and it's not working. And it is time now for the chops, which is like the only thing he does that the crowd gets into.
Okay.
And he starts laying in knife edge chops, which of course gets a woo from the crowd because they're like trained circus seals, basically. They can't help themselves.
So this is definitely working the audience, right?
Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, says chop after chop. Let's have you roll with audience.
All right, that is a 7, 8.
You could spend momentum. Do you have how much momentum do you have?
I have 2. So what is
Get
2
to a 10 plus.
And that gets me
You could
work the audience.
You can't gain heat because you need momentum to gain the heat. But you get +1 momentum if you just take the 7 to 9, so you can get up to 3 momentum.
All right, yeah. So I up my momentum.
So we get that sequence of you doing the chops, pull back, and Dallas. What is the point at which you get out of that those painful, obviously destructive chops that he's laying on you, Gardeau? How do you get out of that?
I think eventually, like, he probably almost just stops. And I mean, correct me if you want to do something different, but I'm thinking you probably just go back to strutting, having proven how badly you were just taking it to Gardeau at this point. And
yeah,
Gardeau,
if you're just like, if you're just out on your feet, he would certainly just start kind of strutting around, pointing to the audience, kind of asking them to bask in his superiority.
Yeah, so I think eventually you just kind of let up, and Gardeau probably falls to his knees, and he's holding his chest, and he's got these huge red welts on his chest from where he was just taking those. And I think Gardeau, I think he's got his top hat still sitting like kind of in the corner, and he goes over and like reaches into the top hat and looks over at you and then sort of walks towards you with his hand in the top hat, sort of almost daring Dave Dallas to come after him.
How did Dallas react to that?
If he's got the hat,
yeah, he's got his hand in that top hat.
He's going to take that hat out of his hand.
Goes to grab for it. What happens?
I think he goes to grab for it, and I do like specifically the fireball move that he told me not to. I think blow a fireball basically right into his face. Pulls out the flash paper. What am I rolling with on that one?
Rolling with work.
Okay, that's a 5.
You could spend momentum to get it to 7 to 9.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. So you can hand control to Dave Dallas and get a momentum, or you can keep control.
Let's see. Would you like that one to get kicked up a notch? Because that seems like a good move to sort of pop things up to the next level.
Yeah, I think that sounds good.
Okay. My God, a fireball! We haven't seen that since the Sheik. That's not true. Other people have used it, but like that's who everybody remembers. Right. So,
yeah. So you're going to gain a momentum then, Gardeau, back, and the crowd pops like they're digging that, and you've controlled the match.
Yeah, I think with that, I turn around and sort of like raise up my hands like that, and the people in the crowd that I handed off the sparklers to, they hold the sparklers up in the air like lit. So now there's just sparklers randomly going off in the crowd. And this stuff isn't cheap. Like, I'm probably spending a decent amount of my paycheck on these stupid like sparklers and tricks between each show. Just making this complicated.
That sounds like work in the audience. So
And
go
Dallas,
ahead and
meanwhile,
roll
is
with
selling this like a
audience.
gunshot wound. He is clutching his
Okay.
face, writhing on the ground.
Yeah, and that's a 10.
That is a 10. The crowd pops big. The sparklers go off. If you want to spend that momentum, that you have that one momentum, you can gain another heat with Dave Dallas.
Yeah, I'll definitely do that.
Okay.
I'll put him at 4 heat.
Dave, you got hit in the face with this. Here's the thing is you need to win by DQ. So how has this been worked out, Dallas? How does this happen?
Well, I think he's pissed off right now. And he's playing mad at the referee for not calling this heinous interference. He's screaming at the referee, he's unloading. And he just comes over and he works real stiff on him and just starts laying in, throws him into the corner. Like, now these aren't like the working chops anymore. These are just like getting clubbed and pounded and it's just like throwing a beating on.
So are you working real stiff rather than going to your finisher for the DQ?
I thought for the DQ, my plan was to work real stiff and
Okay.
get disqualified because I'm not breaking the 10 count.
Okay. Let's have you roll your finisher then.
Okay.
That is a flat roll, but you have 3 momentum to spend.
There we are. Oh, and I'm going to use 2 of those 3.
What does that get you to?
That gets me to a 7. Yay.
Okay.
So
So your choice is they make you work for it. They obviously allow you to get the win, gain the heat, or they push you to look better, gain a momentum.
no, they obviously allowed me to win.
Okay. So how is it that it ends up that that Dallas that you win by DQ? How is it that they DQ Gardeau?
Oh, that's right. It's that's not me getting DQ'd, is it? That was stupid. So how do they DQ Gardeau? All right, so I start beating on him like that, and I then just throw him over the top rope. Well, does a count out work as a DQ for you? Otherwise, he will do another trick. Yeah, that's right. He'll do another trick to save himself from the savage beating. This one does get caught.
What do you think, Gardeau?
Yeah, I like that. I'm trying to think of what a good trick for that would be. Yeah, okay.
You still have your hat.
Yeah, so I think, probably pull, I think the hat's back in the corner. And, Gardeau is kind of getting back to his feet a little bit. And I actually pull or no, not even from the hat. I think I reach over to Dave Dallas and sort of, with his back turned, sort of reach, not like just barely like grabbing him by the trunks. And I start like pulling like a scarf out of the back of like a long like rope out of the back of his trunks, like a silk scarf type thing. And then I ended up just wrapping it around his neck from behind and start choking him with it.
You okay with that, Dallas?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. That's when the ref interferes. Not during any of the earlier stuff, but once the choke scarf chain comes into play. Nope. He stops the match, calls it, sends Gardeau to the corner, brings you into the center, Dallas, and raises your arm to signal that you are, in fact, the victor by DQ. Did you give yourself the extra heat with Gardeau?
Yeah, it brings me to 4.
Okay. That means both of you, Gardeau and Dallas, are both going to gain an audience because you wrestled somebody that you had 4 heat with.
Woohoo.
We are going to take our break here. When we come back, I'll give the opportunity for any backstage talk, and then we will roll into Jim Queen versus Helena Black. So let's take 5, and we'll continue.
All right. So, Lowell,
Yes.
it dawns on me that when I cut the promo at the beginning of the match, I pledged I would beat any goof with a goofy gimmick that tried to disparage the fine sport of wrestling. Technically, I won. So, I kept my promise. And with I Am the Future, when I keep a promise or follow through a threat I made on camera, I roll look.
Okay. Let's have you roll with look then.
All right, and that is a 9. So then I can choose pick one, book yourself with any opponent, add a stipulation to a match, gain 1 momentum. Now, does adding a stipulation to a match doesn't say it has to be one of my matches, does it?
No.
I am so outraged by what occurred to me that I want the next match, whoever it is, to be Bill Watts rules. We're enforcing no closed fists. We're enforcing if you send someone over the top rope, you are disqualified. If you climb to the top rope, you are disqualified.
We will check with Tyler. Tyler, are you good with that?
Absolutely, it's off his move.
Helena, are you okay with that?
I think Helena will have some words with Dallas. It's gonna make her life much harder, but it'll be interesting. That means I have to be more creative, so that's cool.
Yeah. Before we roll into this next match, does anybody want to call a scene? Anything you want to do in between?
Well, if I caught up with Gardeau backstage, like, I'm pissed. I'm like, what the fuck was that? I said nothing stupid. And I sold the first stupid thing you did. And then you did another goddamn stupid thing.
Get out of his face. They loved it. I'm like walking up to the two of them. Get out of his face.
I assume we're off.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely off camera.
Okay.
None of you all know shit. I've been to New York. Tony Khan's going to be calling me any time now. You don't get over with dumb shit like this. You certainly don't do it to someone like me.
You know what? You know when you don't get over? When you're having the fucking bag. That's when you don't get over. You're lucky no one got hurt out there. Go to a fucking meeting or something and get out of his face.
He's lucky no one got hurt out there. Terry could probably stab him if I told him to.
Terry nods your entourage.
Anyway, this is your last warning. Don't try this shit again.
Hey,
I'm not doing this outlaw bullshit, okay?
I'm just here to put on a good show, man. Like, did you see the look on those people's faces? They loved it. They loved it. They loved how. Yeah, I mean, you looked strong too. You know, you took a fireball in the face.
I look strong with your panties around my neck.
Well, I mean, technically they came out of your trunks, but okay.
Let's get out of here, Terry.
Dave Dallas walks away with Terry, uncertain about who had the high sign.
And I put a hand on
Gardeau Valentina.
Yeah, I put a hand on Gardeau's shoulder and I say, if he messes with you, you tell me.
Hey, thanks. I mean, my chest is still hurting a little bit. He went kind of rough on me in there. But hey, thanks for having my back. I appreciate it.
He's a loser. And if he wasn't, he wouldn't be here. He'd be wherever it was he got drummed out of. My little sister told me all about him. But just seriously, if he messes with you, tell me.
All right, yeah. I'll let you know. Yeah, thanks again for having my back. It's good to have a friend around here.
That thing with when you pulled the scarf out of his ass. That's I could not believe the look on his face when you did that. And we can cut the scene with me just kind of I'm just starting to laugh and tell him how much I loved like his crazy magic shit that he did.
Awesome. Malin, do you have anything you want to call, or are you good?
I kind of want to call one. I think after we had that talk with Valentina earlier, I think I want to go see if I can catch up with Helena.
Okay.
Kind of see how she's doing.
Helena, you're just being told that they're doing some restricted rules on the upcoming match. No out of the ring, no close hand fists, no up on the ropes.
I don't think I get angry. I just sulk. I was like, whatever. Okay. All right. So, okay, no chairs then. Damn it. We're going to have like a 20-minute brawl into the crowd. Damn it. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. Fine. I'll deal with it. All right. I have to go record my promo. And I think that's when Malin kind of runs into me as I'm stalking, finding a quiet spot to record this promo.
Okay, and he's Billy Ray at this point. He doesn't have the persona up. He says, "Hey."
So off camera.
Yeah, off camera. Hey, you good from last week? Like you left pretty quick. I hadn't had a chance to catch up with you.
It's fine, Billy. It's all right. I talked with Andrea. It's fine. We'll try to make something out of it. It's all right. Like people keep coming up to me and asking me if it's okay, and it's okay. I look okay. Don't I look okay, Billy? I look totally okay.
Well, you look. I mean, honestly, you look kind of badass, but you look badass all the time. Like I said, I mean, the bandage on the head. I mean, this is pro wrestling. If you're going to be the badass, you got a bandage. I mean, that's the way that runs. So
you're such a flatterer, you.
So look, we got I heard what Dallas did. What Dallas did. Listen, I've worked some of these old school rules matches way back when. Hey, and when he says way back when, this was like a couple of years ago when he worked at one of those really down south feds. He says, look, the key part here is you can still do all the dirty crap you want to make yourself look like a good heel. You just point the ref in the wrong direction, because the key part of all those old matches is the ref is dumb. All you got to do is just point the ref away, say, ref, he's pulling something out of his trunks, and when the ref turns his back, then you punch the other guy in the eyeball. I mean, it works every time. They spent years doing exactly that. So, and when the audience sees you constantly getting away with the cheap shots, they will get mad, and it will build your heat. It can build Jim's heat. Like both y'all can get over really quick with that stuff. So, but as long as the ref is playing the role right. The tricky part is I don't know if a lot of these newer refs really know how to play that role.
Yeah, I don't think Dallas cleared that up with anyone. Really,
I'm not. Well, Dallas said Bill Watts rules, and I don't think anybody here really knew what the hell that meant until like somebody looked it up. So,
yeah, I think I googled him as soon as he said Bill Watts, and I saw some stuff.
No, not that stuff. That has nothing to do with the actual wrestling.
Yeah.
Part.
Oh yeah.
No, that's another thing. We're not that stuff.
No, God, no, thank God. Well,
I'm going to X card that part.
Yes, that's why I started. That's why I started that. No, that's no, not that part.
Bad,
the other, the actual wrestling booking part.
Yeah. Yeah, nobody knows who he is, but it's fine. Look, I'll work with it.
Do you want? I mean, do you need me to come out like play distraction, like do the ridiculous like outside manager thing? Because that was always a great foil for those old school matches, is to have the obnoxious manager guy waving at the referee to get the referee out of the way so you can pull all the dirty tricks.
Normally I would, but me and Henry, we and Jim Queen talked about the story of the match, and I'm getting quite a bit of the offense. The story is that he's still gonna win, but it's gonna be like an uphill effort. I think it'll make me look stronger if it's just myself. So
Yeah, it does do that. So yeah, if you're looking to build that kind of momentum, then yeah.
Thanks.
I'm going to cut from there to Mr. Fabulous. I think we're going to come to you. What does your package look like, and how does that roll into your promo? What do we see on camera?
My package looks fabulous, but my promo here is going to be a set piece as we have the camera kind of pulling in. We see a kind of scroll work arch door. It's got the big gold star on it, and as the door opens, we see Fab laid out on this settee. We see the bottle of champagne. The glass is... Honeys, come on in. Mama's about to spill the tea. As you know, last week, a match was stolen from me. Stolen away from me. And this week, oh, Mama loves the finer things. The Dom Perignon, the Beluga caviar. But what Mama does not like is the taste of Benadryl behind the end of this Dom Perignon. And you know why Mama's having to taste that? Because Mama's allergic to ugly, and a heartbreak is ugly. I say UGLY ugly. She got no alibi. Oh, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna beat that brick hard face until not even her mama will know her name. 'Cause I'm too fabulous.
Thank you, Tyler. Have you roll with look.
Alrighty. That is a 9.
That is a 9. Make creative book you. Add a stipulation. Gain a heat.
I'm gonna gain that heat.
Okay. And then, Helena, we cut to your promo. Where do we see you? Is it recorded? Is it backstage? Is it a montage? What do we see?
I think it's recorded. It's definitely backstage. It's kind of like in one of the more grubbier backstage areas, and I think it's recorded by her phone, and she's just holding it up.
Okay.
Yeah, and she is just talking to the phone, and she says, "In case you any dum-dums out here don't get it, Gauntlet League Wrestling is going through a bit of a change. We're getting rid of some of this nonsense that's been clogging up the roster. Kraken, gone. Subpig, long gone. And now we just have to deal with the rest of these yahoos still prancing about, thinking that they could get over with all this colorful nonsense. You got, your Dinosaur Daves, your VV Valentinas over there, and we've got Mr. Fabulous. Jim Queen, you don't belong in a wrestling ring. Where you belong is on stage with Barry Manilow in Vegas. You're dragging us down to the realm of kid stuff. You're childish. You're a joke. And me, well, I'm here to bring you all down to earth. Just lend you a bit of that heartbreak."
Nice. So let's have you roll with look.
Cool. Let's hope the dice roll loves me this time. Thankfully that's a 7.
There's a 7. So gain make creative book you in a match, add a stipulation to the match, or gain a heat with the subject of your promo.
Ooh, actually, no, that was actually a 6, but I'm gonna spend momentum to keep that 7.
Okay.
Which stat I had a 1 in. Yes, I'm gonna gain some heat.
Yeah, always the smart way to go. Jim Queen, you appear making your big entrance. What does that look like?
I think we get the opening strains of "Let's Have a Kiki" as we have. I probably spend my own money to make sure that we have a little pyro as we get the silver sparkle jets. As I come down and I've got out the compact and I'm touching up the shine on my nose, and I'll walk over to the crowd and kind of hold the mirror up so that they can check themselves out and dab a bit on the nose for one of the fans up there. Oh, you look fabulous! And as I dance my way down to the ring, and I'm definitely pointing out the fans and working them up.
Let's have you roll your amazing entrance. Roll with audience.
Roll with audience. So +2. That's a 10.
You get a heat with Heartbreak.
Uh-huh.
And you can, let's see here, +7 to 9 result. Gain momentum you start each episode with. So gain more momentum.
Yay.
And then Heartbreak. Jim Queen's out there in the ring. Cuts to your music. What do we hear? What do we see?
Well, we hear the soft opening drum trills of "Vampires Will Never Hurt You," and it's a bit of a build. In fact, Liz picked this because it's a long build just to annoy the people, just to annoy the audience and the other wrestlers. So it's gonna do drums, and it cuts to the whisper singing, and she doesn't show up until Jared Way starts screaming, and that's when she just stalks out, looking full of piss and vinegar. She's got a ratty hoodie on, and the hood is up, and she just just stalks her angry, and just because she saw the entrance,
oh yeah,
I have to deal with this, and then have to wrestle. Oh God, and yeah, I think. I've been told off from giving little kids the middle finger, so I just sneer at them, and yeah, I think I'll let the match. The bell hasn't started, so I'll let myself get on top of the turnbuckle. That's when take off the hood and just bask in the audience, I guess.
Jim, Mr. Fabulous, you have a little more audience. And you've got some momentum after that entrance, so you're going to start in control of this match.
All right. I'm going to...
Let me pause you 1 second. Who wants to be on announce table?
Oh, I feel... Go ahead.
No, I was going to say... if no one else wants it, I'll do it. But if you want.
I feel like that we have established that there is a septuagenarian professor of wrestling. So for a classic old school rules match, I feel like Professor Turnbuckle would be the person that they would turn to for this, because he's actually been alive to see these. When this was standard rules, he was actually in the ring himself. So
okay,
yeah, you've got a pitch. Go for it.
Yeah. Good news, everybody! Professor Turnbuckle here, and I've been waiting for this day for many decades. It's been... I can hardly remember when I walked the squared circle myself, but this is real wrestling that we're going to see this evening, ladies and gentlemen. None of this foolishness outside the confines of the ropes. This will be technical skill at its finest. These two juggernauts about to come into contact with each other. Well, I can't wait.
Excellent, Mr. Fabulous.
I think that as Heartbreak gets into the ring, I probably take the compact and I'll pull it up so that she could see herself in the mirror for a moment and kind of give as before I slide it to the side. I bring out my comically large bottle, like the big old GNC bottle. It's got Benadryl written across the side, and I put it down in the corner there because of my ugly allergy. And so as I'm putting it down, I think that probably Heartbreak will come in and just club me good and solid with a forearm to the back. And I'll go into the turnbuckle, get turned around, and since no closed fist, I think maybe if this sounds good to you, Heartbreak, we see a little the versatility you have. A couple of English uppercuts with the forearm. I'll stagger back, feet flailing, before you go back to the center and come in with a good forearm straight into the forehead, right nose bridge, forehead. And I'll do the kind of step out and face plant.
Now, this is the sort of Donnybrook that used to be routine back in my day.
Probably you bounce off the rope, dropping an elbow, but going for that second one, I managed to roll, and we'll pull myself up by the ropes as you're holding your elbow, and while you're doing that, I'm going to come in and do the high knee to the chest. And that's probably the hit move.
Body or work for you?
Yeah, I don't know if this is particularly athletic. I think this is probably more skill.
Okay, let's have you roll with work.
Alrighty. Oof. That's a 6.
Do you want to spend momentum?
Yeah, I'd rather not have a bad move. So yeah, I'll spend the momentum and get it back as I turn over.
Okay. So tell me how you take control, Heartbreak, and where we go to next. What's the next sequence?
Yeah, so I'm gonna take that knee, and Heartbreak's gonna kind of hit the mat hard and kind of like roll away from Jim Queen, who's probably doing some fabulous pose because he's momentum's his way, and I think I'm kind of like I stand myself up at the turnbuckle, and he'll do another high knee, but this time I think what's gonna happen is I'm going to avoid it, and they're going to smash at the turnbuckle. And Heartbreak's doing, I think I think he's going to bounce off, and I'm just going to do like a quick like sleeper slam, and just grab Jim Queen by the throat and just like do a quick slam him on the ground. And then just kind of like cinch it in as if to like say like, okay, Dallas, you think you want old school? I can give you fucking old school, but I'm being really annoying as I have Jim Queen's headlock. I'm asking ref, ask him. Look, as Jim Queen's hand kind of like comes through, like, no, that's a tap out. That's a tap out.
So that sounds like doing a little bit of. Is this something you guys worked out ahead of time, or do you think this is more of a technique thing?
I think maybe this is more. We probably worked this out.
Okay. What's your heat with Jim Queen?
It's 2.
So roll with +2.
Cool.
Oh, and that's a brutal hold. I fear that Helen is going to break more than just his heart. But the Marvel of Manhattan has the upper hand now.
That's an 8. I think
There's an 8, so you momentum. Jimmy, how do you break out of that, Mr. Fabulous?
All right, I think we're getting the ref coming in, and we probably had the arm drop twice before. Oh no, he's still in it as the hand comes up, and I'm calling to the crowd, and the crowd is responding. So I get back to my feet. I elbow to the gut, and after the stagger off, run to the ropes and come back, and I'm gonna do the what was it? Santana was the flying burrito or whatever. I'm doing the flying forearm, coming off the rope, laying her out, and I can't go. You see Fabulous walking to the turnbuckle like he really wants to go to that up the ropes, and the crowd, the ref pulls him, and the crowd, they're booing Dallas, even though he's not out there. As I turn back around, and I've taken too long. I meet the big forearm as Heartbreak's already gotten up. Couple of those, and as she brings me in, kind of a reverse, or got me in the chin lock, bent over. I'm gonna say, all right, let's do something with some flair, and she's going to lift me up into the suplex, and I think we're gonna do a slingshot suplex.
Ooh, is this something you guys have worked out?
I think so. It sounded like something Heartbreak. We can't go over the top rope, but you could sure bounce me off it.
Yeah, I think we probably had a bit of a chat before this. It's like, damn it, I was hoping to do like a superplex, but that Dallas has ruined things. All right, this is good enough.
All right.
Have you roll your heat with Helena.
Excellent. Oh, I did not make it look good, though. I rolled our heat. I'll spend 1 and take it to a 7. I rolled a 3.
And I'll put you over on that. I'll bump it up to a 10. So this is Dallas's move, right?
No, this is Heartbreaks.
Well, but you rolled the dice, right? So I'm putting you over.
Yeah. Fabulous.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fabulous.
So then and New York. And New York answers Dallas as the Queen of Queens hurls him to the mat with a devastating blow.
Excellent. So that gives me retaining control. I'm selling the hell out of things.
And the momentum.
But I had to spend 1 to get it up to the 7.
Yep.
So I'm going to, I'm selling, I'm rolling around, and I think probably we'll get, I think Heartbreak comes over and puts the boots to me, gets me up into, up again on the feet, and looks like probably going for another big high impact, another lift. But this time I do the foot catch. I block it with a foot lock there before it goes up, goes forward again, block it, and I'm going to pull back from that, shoving the arms up, and I think it's going to be kick to the gut coming from that, and just in desperation, grab the back of her head and seated faceplant, pancaking down.
That sounds like work.
Yeah, that could be work.
Okay.
Oh no, the Siren of Staten Island will feel that tomorrow.
That's a 7. I'll take the Mo and turn it over.
Okay. Helena, how do you get away from that face thing?
I think I'm still gonna take it, probably, just so like, because Jim's the ace, gonna make him look strong a bit. And I think I'll probably writhe on the ground again, but this time instead of Jim posing, he's also catching his breath because that was a bit of a desperation move, and Helena's gonna like bring herself up using the ropes, and just has this looks really just pissed off, and almost like she rubs like her eyebrow a bit.
Let me ask you a question, Helena. Now you've got these rules, these poor rules that are bringing you in here, but you move that is about breaking the rules of a match. So I just remind you of that. I don't know, but go on.
I've got a plan for that.
Let's see it.
Let's
go on.
see. Okay, all right. So here's what's gonna happen. I think I go over to. I think before Jim Queen kind of like. I think I recovered faster than Jim Queen probably realized, and I'm going to like do a high knee to him as well. I think he's probably at the corner turnbuckle and do that, and I'm going to throw him at the referee.
Oof. Then you breaking the rules. Let's have you roll look.
Oh gosh. Let's see if this works out. Okay, I got an 8.
Got an 8 on a 7-9 1. You get away with it and gain momentum, or you don't and gain +1 heat with your opponent.
So if I don't, that means the match still goes on. It's just
still goes on. You go to throw it, and the ref kind of pulls you away. There's no DQ, but you get a warning.
Yeah, I think I'll take the heat.
Okay. In that case, control passes back to you, Mr. Fabulous, as the ref pulls you to a part, saw Helen attempting to lift you up to throw you, pulls you apart.
All right. So, going to be thrown over the top rope. Referee pulls us apart. I look out at the crowd and I go, "Oh no." And the crowd yells back, "Bitch, please." And I'm attempting to work the audience as I'm getting pumped up.
Okay, let's have you roll with audience.
All right. Need one more heat. Come on, baby. Oh, fudge.
And Mr. Fabulous, Jim Queen calls upon his courtiers to lend him strength.
I'll spend one mo to get it up to the 7 and get the mo back.
Okay. Yeah, they're up for it, but this match has not been nearly as exciting as they wanted it to be. Like those rules have really brought this down. Helena, how do you follow up as Mr. Fabulous looks away from you, tries to bring the crowd in on his side?
I'm gonna try to roll him up, but it only goes to a 2 count. 1, 2, bang. I'm annoyed, so I'm gonna do a shotgun drop kick and drop him and kick him to the other turnbuckle. He's gonna bounce off and he's gonna fall on his face. And as he's kind of crawling up, I just kind of look at him and just poke him with my boot on the head. Just poke him. Just say look at you. You're ridiculous. You've taught these children to say bitch. Well, look at you. And
are you working the audience?
Yeah.
Yeah, you pause, you stop, you get him on the ground, you've beaten him. Let's have your roll audience.
And there's the bitch from Brooklyn that we have come to know and love.
I love that the professor has taken me to a tour of New York. I just live in all of New York. I got a 10.
The pits of New
York. You got a 10. So you can spend a momentum and gain +1 heat with your current or upcoming opponent.
I'm absolutely doing that.
Do that? Absolutely. They are loving it. Mr. Fabulous, Helena immediately do. She's beaten you. But you are booked to win. Can you turn this around? How do you turn this around? What does this sequence look like?
I think I can turn this around. I certainly am going to give it a good college try. All right. I am first off going to use my baby face if I can. Does that cost me initiative?
No, that's just because the momentum is an interrupt thing. So yeah.
Okay. Then I'm going to gain 1 heat. I believe that's one of the things I can do with a baby face.
Yeah.
Trying to find
Take
that.
you up to 4.
All right. So that costs me 2. And so I think that we've seen the humiliation talk. We've seen the the poking boot to the head. We've got the crowd booing as Mr. Fabulous kind of stands up, and I think we get Heartbreak kind of pull another forearm, but Fabulous shakes it off. And comes in with another one. Boom. Oh, no. Then comes in, tries for the roundhouse kick. And we see Mr. Fabulous duck the kick and quick as lightning into the around the world and back snap. I mean, it's like the rattlesnake striking sort of thing. It's so quick. As soon as she comes back around, there he is off the ropes to catch it. And boom. And float over for hopefully a count.
Let's have you roll. You've got 1 momentum left.
I do. Come on, roll better. I did not roll better. That's a 6.
Can you spend momentum to take it to 7 to 9?
It's a 5. I hold my momentum because there's no point in spending it.
Oh, and you've already been put over on a botch. Choose whether you rush through the botched move, lose an audience, or you let them counter into something that looks better and take the loss.
Ooh. I think that I hit perfect, or it looks like I've hit perfect, but as that third, as the ref's coming down with the third hit, Heartbreak gets a foot on the rope. I don't see it. I stand up celebrating and get the drop kick from behind, and I'm laid out.
Bam.
Another
Hits
match
the
stolen
ground.
from me.
And this is an astonishing end, ladies and gentlemen. Perhaps, just perhaps, someone should have a discussion with Mr. Fabulous about overconfidence.
Mr. Fabulous, Heartbreak, you both have heat 4 with one another. You both gain an audience.
And as the match ends, Dave Dallas just kind of steps to the curtain, clapping. I gave you that. I gave you wrestling the way you used to like it, the way it ought to be. That's wrestling.
There's still some booing at Dallas. They felt like some of that was stolen from them. But you make your heel appearance there.
A stunning upset by the Manhattan Maid. She owes a debt of gratitude to Steve Dallas.
Yeah, I'm just looking at that like, God damn it. I think I don't look happy with that win because it was a lame drop kick through the ropes. So I just like.
Are you saying something?
Are
you going to grab the mic, Helena?
No, I think.
Okay.
No, I think he's just going to be annoyed. I think. Yeah.
Okay. So they clear the ring. Probably got a couple of NPW matches there, particularly Hippolyta versus Dr. Explosiones, 2 lady wrestlers that will go on. A little classic wrestling versus luchador. Then we'll see Typhoon Bale, who's probably the